Hi, Yorkie friends. Welcome to Yorkie 101. Full disclosure, I've been a Yorkie mom for 15 years and I have learned quite a bit. Not all Yorkies are the same, but I wanted to share my knowledge, and so these videos are all based on my personal experiences and opinions. Today I want to talk about Yorkies and liver shunts. I learned about this early on when I found out that not all Yorkies, but a high percentage of them do have liver shunts. Liver shunts can be passed down genetically or they can develop over time. Now, you're probably wondering, what exactly is a liver shunt? To make it simple, it's an abnormal connection between the blood vessels that carry the blood to and from the liver. You can kind of think of it as a tiny hole. Sometimes. Anyway, this bypasses the liver, preventing it from properly filtering and processing toxins and nutrients. Now, if there's a hole or some type of escape route in the liver, that means that some of the food Yorkies eat, it's not getting broken down as it's supposed to be, but it's actually leaving the liver, entering the bloodstream directly before getting broken down. Think about this. What happens when a toxin gets to the brain? It could be a seizure. It could be some type of neurological problem. It could be any other symptom like diarrhea, vomiting, tremors, increased thirst. There's so many more things. So this is the thing that I've learned. When my Yorkie was a puppy, he was eating chicken, turkey, fish. And then as he got older, maybe around his 10th, 11th year, we noticed that sometimes, maybe once every couple of months, there would be a mild seizure, but not regularly, just once in a while. And, we did go to the vet, and one vet said to take this seizure medication, but I'm fully against all these drugs. So I was like, let's get to the root of the problem. It must be something that he's doing with his diet, because the rest of his life was pretty much the same. So we started to eliminate things from his diet. We started with the meat and his seizures stopped. But then I thought, how is he going to get his protein? So I did some blood tests and I was like, okay, let's do an experiment here. So I started to give him lentils with vegetables and some plain yogurt. I have a holistic veterinarian and we had a conversation about this, and he was like, let's just do regular blood tests. Let's see what's fluctuating here. We were really focusing on the bile acids, because if the bile acids are high, it's not a good thing. Okay, so what is a bile acid? Bile is produced by the liver. It's a digestive fluid that helps with fat absorption and waste removal. It should be then stored in the gallbladder until food is digested, and then bile is released into the small intestine through the bile duct. So it shouldn't be really floating around in the bloodstream. So if you do a blood test and you do see a high amount of bile, that is a sign of a possible liver shunt. So, like the day he had a seizure, his bile acids were really high. So that tells me that it's related to something he's eaten. A couple of months go by and we had eliminated things. We did realize that the lentils have cysteine and methionine in them. And that was also causing the bile acids to be high. So I said, okay, let me look up lentils. Well, these lentils we were giving him have cysteine and methionine in them. So we were like, okay, we can't give him the lentils. I can't remember how or when I discovered this, but I read so much literature and spent so much time researching on cysteine and methionine. They are two sulfur-containing amino acids. They're supposed to be properly broken down in the liver. So then we decided, okay, he's got to go on a straight veggie diet. But where will he get his protein from? So now we give him a huge variety of fruits and vegetables, but he gets his protein from plain yogurt. There's also some protein in broccoli, which he does eat a lot of. And, it's actually working out well. He loves his yummy diet. He eats healthier than I do, I think. But that's what his body can handle. So every Yorkie is different. And sometimes it just takes time to experiment and figure it out. I know some Yorkies are challenging and they are going to fight you. They're like, I don't want to eat this and that. But you know what? At the end of the day, they are dogs and they're not going to let themselves starve. So they're going to have to eventually eat that fruit and veggie meal, in my opinion. We also learned that peanut butter is a no-no, because Peanuts also have cysteine and methionine in them, so we also had to eliminate peanut butter from his diet. Another really important, fascinating conversation I had with our veterinarian was, where do we buy our fruits and vegetables from? Because a lot of places, they use herbicides, fungicides, pesticides, and those are all toxins. So we go to our farmer's market and we buy him everything from one farmer. He really just gets all our business, but he doesn't use any of that stuff, so we know what's going into his body. So cut to a few years later, he's doing great. He's not eating anything artificial. It's a very clean diet. No dog food, no greenies, nothing in a package. And we get his blood work done regularly, maybe twice a year. So that's the goal here. You're probably wondering, how do you find out if your Yorkie has a liver shunt? Well, there's many ways you can figure it out. I think there's blood tests, x-ray, ultrasound. Just simply ask your vet. There is a surgery you can get, liver shunt surgery. I'm always weary of surgeries because I'm like, why do you need to cut the body open? But if it's life and death, then go for it. So that is an option, but just know that if you do go that route, you will have to be cautious the rest of his or her life, and also be very cautious of what they eat. So why not just start with that from the get-go? Yeah, if you have questions on all this, feel free to message me or leave a comment. I know it's a lot. I would also recommend, once again, staying away from any seizure medication because they do have a lot of long-term side effects. You will not see them now, but they will be causing a buildup and an extra stress on their tiny little organs, their bladder, their kidney, their stomach, their heart. So I would just try your best experimenting with food, because honestly, food is the biggest influence even on our bodies. Like, what are you eating? Anyway, thank you so much for listening. Please, please, please research about this if you have a Yorkie, because you never know and you want to give them the best life they can possibly have.